So that's the caddy out of the way and done with, and here we have the Ligia, or Ligia, no idea how you pronounce it, guys. But it is the LMP3 car, as it is commonly known, competes in the IMSA Championship, and you may be wondering, where do you recognise this car? It looks like an LMP2 car. Well, it is kind of its younger brother, but you'll most be familiar with it for taking out one of the very expensive Porsche LMDH cars in the Sebring 12 Hours in real life not too long ago.
How's that happened behind the safety car? Was that a bit of weaving up? He's been run into. He's been absolutely nailed by a P3 car.
It's your favourite dentistry car for all you dentists out there. Yes, this is the LMP3 car. Now, what actually surprised me about this car is that I have just quickly hopped into this, not done any laps just yet, but it's right-hand drive, which took me aback because all prototype cars, LMP cars, LMDH, etc., LMP1, they're all left-hand drive. So yeah, gonna have to take a little bit of getting used to this car, but it is gonna be not included in the IMSA Championship, which is a bit of a strange one. But what they have decided to do is add this to the IMSA Michelin Pilot Challenge Series, which I believe is now changed to the Falcon Series. And, well, that is now going to be LMP3 and GT4 class. So, yes, GT4 drivers, you're now going to have a load of dentists overtaking you and probably rear-ending you on the racetrack. Fun times for you guys, eh? But let's jump into it. Let's see what this car is like, and yeah, compare it to the LMP2 and the LMDH. Of course, we know it's going to be very different in regards to speed and probably handling, but intrigued to see how this is. Right, here we are in the cockpit of the LMP3 car, guys, and well, first things first, of course, we're on the right-hand side. It was very odd being able to see so much bodywork on the left-hand side of the car, but I'm sure we'll get used to it. But the second thing I want to make mention of, and that is currently kind of triggering me at the moment, my OCD, is that on my sim rig, I have everything perfectly aligned with what is always the center of the steering wheel. So the middle of the steering wheel, the middle gear shift, or in between, whatever it is perfectly aligned with me and just my base and everything. In this car, the steering wheel is off center. It's too far over to the right. I mean, what is that all about? When I drive this in the future, I think I'm going to have to turn the steering wheel off, because that's going to just, yeah, trigger me a bit. But I feel like the only other car that is like that from memory is the Ferrari GT3. At least when I was racing in VR, your body was kind of a little bit off center to the steering wheel. In VR, you kind of get away with it. Haven't really raced it on the Ultrawide monitor since going to this setup. But yeah, that's odd, that one, because I haven't done anything to my setup. So yeah, let's stick this in gear and take it out for a drive. Ooh. That's got a bit of grunt behind it, isn't it? Oh, you can hear the brakes. All cold. Oh, I'll tell you what, I do like that engine sound. Now, going into this corner on the right-hand side of the car is a little bit odd. And you may be thinking, Stuffy, you're a Brit. How come you should be used to this? I drive on the right-hand side of a car every single day. Well, I do, but my sim racing and racing cars are all left-hand drive. The only other car I can think of is right-hand drive that I've raced on iRacing in particular is the Radical. So I don't know if there's a correlation there between this car and that. If they have an input or wherever it's made. I'm sure someone in the comments will be able to let me know. But first lap navigated. And, well, while we are on baseline setup, we are on full tank, cold tyres, cold brakes. That didn't feel too bad. Now, understandably, this car is slower than an LMP2 car. But from first impressions, it doesn't feel sluggish. So in a straight line, I don't feel like I'm going, oh, come on, keep going. For anyone who's not familiar with my channel or myself, I love my open wheel cars. I'm a bit of a speed freak. I love cars that provide lots of speed, lots of downfalls. So the hypercars, the F3, F1, LMP2 for a very long time when it was the fastest car in IMSA and the multi-class series. And I've never been a fan of GT cars, really. I go through phases. TCR, GT4, never taken my fancy. And I guess that's what I was expecting this car to feel like. Now, albeit I'm not pushing it right now. But, I mean, I can definitely tell that it's requires a bit more effort and patience in the corners, which is understandable. And I imagine it very much is the LMP2's younger brother. It has traction control, it has a throttle shape, not too many in-car adjustments. But then that's kind of like a natural progression, isn't it? I guess, going from LMP2 and then going up to the LMDH, as you'd expect in open wheel, as an example. The in-car adjustments on an F1 car compared to F3 is, well, worlds apart. But yeah, I mean, it feels good. Let's see if we go a bit faster. A little bit cautious for that bus stop. You used to be able to really attack the entry of it. But this car is not actually going into the IMSA series, even though it competes there in real life, which has caused, obviously, some issues, as we discussed earlier. I thought it was going to go into IMSA, primarily. And iRacing actually announced that it's going to be forming its own fixed series. And it's going to be part of, I assume, what is formerly known as the IMSA Michelin Pilot Challenge, because it is going into a multi-class series with GT4 cars, which I'm sure the GT4 drivers are absolutely over the moon about. But I like this. I'm pleasantly surprised, guys. I wasn't excited when they announced this. I thought, you're just splitting the player base once again by adding another prototype, by adding another series, another fixed series. But you know what? I can see myself driving this. I can see myself giving this a go. I do enjoy my multi-class racing. I enjoy being in the fastest of those cars in multi-class, which is why I always drive the LMDH or whenever it was the LMP2. And yeah. Ooh, over the curb there. Thought one took well. I mean, you can see understeer, not a lot of front end in this car. Bit of trail braking required to control the shifting movement, get the front end turning in, which actually will probably benefit the transition. It'd be quite a good transitional car for GT drivers, GT3 or GT4 drivers up to this. Similar driving skills required. But yeah, and considering I'm on a baseline setup as well, that has been an enjoyable experience as we nearly went into the grass. Good 2 out of 2 additions there by iRacing. I could see myself putting time into both of those cars. The Caddy we know I'm definitely going to be driving, but wow. That is, I'll tell you what guys, yeah, if you, especially if you're working your way up the ranks and you're looking to get into prototype racing and the LMDH just seems a little bit too out of reach for you, this is going to be a great stepping stone. A great stepping stone. Do think iRacing needs to maybe cull a couple of its series though. Maybe LMP2 fixed, and it seems to be that the series are starting to get very saturated, aren't they? But yeah, I can see myself dipping down and doing a couple of these multi-class races, specifically in the LMP3 car. That was really good fun. I enjoyed that. I could do plenty more laps and try and extract some more pace out of this. That was good. I think the brand new cars in particular are amazing. LMP3 pleasantly surprised me. The Caddy is mwah, minus the bump starts, of course. Really wish they'd add that. Maybe in a future update. AI racing? We can still hope. But yes, 2 cars that I'm definitely looking forward to driving more of. And of course, I haven't even looked at the tracks yet, but I'll be looking at those in a separate video. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you for the next one. Bye.